As your startup grows and you realize that you need to scale, raising money for investors or VCs is an option to consider. However, it is important to understand the technicalities of getting investment, and particularly the term sheet. Here are the key points that need to be addressed in the term sheet. One of them is issuer. VCs or angel investors will likely issue the term sheet. If there is a more diverse pool of investors, the company will issue the term sheet to coordinate the funding round. Many funding rounds, like Series A, B, and C, may have multiple investors, so in this case, the company may issue the term sheet. Another is securities or type of equity. The type of security offered can be several things, including equity, preferred shares, or warrants. However, in venture capital, this defines the round a company is raising. For example, if a company is raising a Series A round, they would define this as Series A preferred stock. There are several types or rounds of funding. First is a family friend or angel round, wherein individual investors have the option of funding a startup. Next is a seed round, when early-stage venture capital companies and more angel investors come into the mix. This is followed by a Series A round, which is usually for companies looking to optimize their product and increase their user base after gaining traction. The next term would be pre-money valuation, the worth of the company before investment, which determines how many shares the investor gets upon investing in the company. The valuation is determined by the traction a company has generated, the addressable market, and the future revenue projections. The next term would be post-money valuation, the worth of the company after investment, in other words, the pre-money valuation plus the money invested. The post-money valuation after a round will become the pre-money valuation of the next round, unless significant events like a large increase in traction affects the valuation. Another one is the amount of shares. The amount of shares issued is simply the shares being given to the investors. Next on the list, conversion. Conversion rights are generally issued to those who receive preferred stock or a higher class than common stock due to special rights like voting rights. People who hold preferred stock are given the option to convert to common stock. The next is price per share. The price per share of the investor term sheet determines the price investors will have to pay per ownership share in the company. Dividends. This term determines the investor's right to dividend payouts by the company and who gets priority when dividends are issued. Another term is liquidation preference. Typically, liquidation of the company results when there is a liquidation event, a sale, a lease, licensing, or transfer of the company's assets to another entity, or even the disposal of the company's assets in the case of bankruptcy. Liquidation preferences generally deal with the investor's exit strategy if the company is bought by another, IPOs, or dissolves. Liquidation preferences determine how the investors will get paid in relation to the magnitude of their ownership and the right of the shares classes.